Das Verwirrungsende. Was?
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending.
Was?
You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times?
Oh God.
It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it.
I won't do it.
And the timer stopped?
Das Spiel startet sich jetzt alleine.
Did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Das Spiel ist einfach neu gestartet. Der Erzähler war... Oh, laber doch nicht. Geil.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Na, guck mal, jetzt sind wieder die Türen da.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly
Ich probiere jetzt nochmal hier. Ich weiß nicht, was es noch für Wege gibt.
First, just to admire it.
Und dann gucken wir uns den neuen Content
now
an.
In this incredible room, Stanley for the first, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door.
Ich hab's nicht übersehen, aber ich wollte erst das hier wieder machen.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Back on track. Ah, jetzt bin ich wieder hier. Okay, aber ich kann nicht mehr zurück, ne? Aber hier gab es keinen weiteren Weg mehr, oder? Ich habe mir jetzt hier eigentlich
Yet there was not a single person here either.
geschaut.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping he might come into a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
His boss's office. Wow, ich komm...
Here's the door, just go.
Ich komme einfach direkt rein, ist offen. Nicht mal mehr irgendein Wort. Geh einfach durch. Ah, geil. Mega, ich liebe es. Ah, nicht mal mehr Blabla, der hat einfach aufgemacht. Boah, es ist warm im Zimmer, ich sterbe gerade. Und das normale Stanley Parable schon super. Ich gucke mir gleich den New Content an. Mal gucken.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Jetzt die Frage, gibt es hier noch irgendwas? Wir haben einmal Ja und einmal Nein gedrückt. Hier haben wir eigentlich auch alles beide gemacht. Dann danke schön für den Raid. Ja, dann gehen wir hier einfach nochmal. Ich muss ja sowieso hier durch.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength?
Ich versuche uns nochmal in die Luft zu jagen.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Wow, close.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Eure ganzen Zeilen hier, wunderschön.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept
couldn't.
it. His own life
liebe den
in someone
Erzähler.
else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content.
Happy.
Walking, eating, working.
saw.
All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
Ja?
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
Ja.
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation?
Elbroni, ist doch gut.
Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to
Oh,
shine.
du Penner, da war eine
You
Tür.
are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left.
Oh no!
But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear
Also,
me,
der Kopf
what's the
anstrengend.
matter, Stanley?
Nee,
Is it that you have
es
no
trollt mich
idea
sowieso.
where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? But you really believe there's an answer? How many times will you replay this bit, looking desperately for a solution? 10? 100? 1,000? I look forward to finding out and to watching the bomb go off each time you fail. Just you and me
Hallo
in the
Agent und
retching
natürlich hallo
explosion
Driver.
of fire and metal over and over and over
Over,
for all of
over.
eternity. And
Ich
Stanley
will hier
died
raus.
again.
Ja, wir sterben.
And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again.
Again!
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle.
Ja.
30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing.
Ja.
No ending here.
Ja, ist
Just
okay.
you being blown to pieces.
Ja, es ist
Will you
okay.
cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ja, Digga, ey. Ich gehe gleich hier rein, ich guck noch mal kurz. Sind die zwei... Okay. Ich gehe mal in New Content rein.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Keine Ahnung. Komm, tu das Spiel noch mal an, wegen New Content.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra
Was klar,
Deluxe.
Sven?
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Ja.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new
Ah, wurde schon
content.
beantwortet.
I've
Ja,
never
Freitag
been
geht's
more
weiter.
ready. Let's do it.
Wo ist die Fahrstuhlmusik?
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Gimme the content, Stanley.
Hallo Ben. Jump Circle, was?
All right, let's see it's...
Aber ich
the
kann doch
jump
nicht.
Circle?
Ich kann springen? Ah, ich kann springen. Ja. Aber nur im Kreis. Mit Klickgeräusche der Tastatur. Toller Content. Ja, den wollte ich schon immer haben. Das ist der neue Content, auf den ich gewartet habe. Springen. Nach Jahren. Ich darf nicht mehr springen. Wie? Ich hatte nur 33 Sprünge auf diese Dreckscheiße hier. Ich will nicht mehr. Alter.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Oh.
Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive.
Das Spiel
It's
selber
just
beleidigt sich.
elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion.
Nein,
You
bitte
could put
nicht.
that on the box.
Nein, bitte
the
nicht.
Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Ja, mal gucken. Thank you for enjoying the new
That's
content.
it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens
Ich hab so
when
33
greedy
Sprünge
video game developers with no
geupgradet.
respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations.
Der Text.
If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks.
Brownie.
Just you and me having a great time together like always.
Mit dir habe ich aber keine schöne Zeit.
What do you say, friend?
Wir sind keine Freunde. Der macht das einfach. Gott, es fängt wieder an diesem Scheißbüro an. Foto von dem Flur. Alter, das ist so grauenhaft. Das ist einfach grauenhaft. Das ist einfach grauenhaft. Foto von diesem verfickten Flur.
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Okay, okay. Okay, ich folge dir. Was gibt's denn hier so Schönes? Gott.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be.
Yeah.
So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it.
What the fuck?
Just our little secret.
Elden Ring.
Take a look.
Elden Ring.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Hallo Nilmo. The Memory Zone. Okay. Okay. Memory, sweet memory.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port? Remember back in October
PlayStation
2013,
port.
when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
British Academy of Film Stanley Parable. Steht da The Last of Us? Der hat einfach The Last of Us überklebt. Der hat es einfach überklebt. Alter. Was ist ein Assi? Our first kiss, my first car, the release of the Stanley Parable. Wow. Oh. Postkarten, Stanley. I remember. Okay, okay. Good times. Das waren noch gute Zeiten, ne? Jetzt, ne? Diese Ultra Deluxe Edition. Smile because it happened. Ein Rätselspiel oder worum geht es? Im Grunde treut uns das Spiel die ganze Zeit. Wir spielen Stanley und der Erzähler treut uns im Grunde die ganze Zeit und wir müssen irgendwelche Wege befolgen. Man kann aber auch die Wege nicht befolgen und dann werden wir noch mehr getrollt und wir arbeiten eigentlich in einem Büro und müssen die ganze Zeit an der Tastatur Knöpfe drücken. Deswegen habe ich auch diesen Sound hier. Für mehr sind wir nicht gut. Ist einfach im Grunde ein Trollspiel. Und es gibt jetzt New Content und irgendwie bin ich nicht so überzeugt. Aber das Spiel verarscht ja selber, dass der New Content scheiße ist. Aber mal gucken, was noch passiert. New Video Game releasing today. Das sind wir. Wir sitzen immer vor dem PC und drücken Knöpfe. Man nennt es auch Trolling, das Spiel. Ja. Ist ziemlich lustig. Ich habe das damals gespielt, wo es nicht rauskam, aber ich habe es damals gespielt und jetzt kam halt Bonus dazu. Oh, guck mal, da sind wir gestorben. Weil wir wahnsinnig geworden sind wir verreckt. Es gibt halt verschiedene Enden und sowas. Bild? Oh. Was passiert jetzt? Little Stanley, nein, Little Stanley ist tot. Wo kommt die Musik jetzt her? Le Memories.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley
Wunderschön.
Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created."
Nemo.
Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them.
Ist
and
klar.
now, it's nothing.
Ja,
It's no games at
genau.
all.
Ist so
It
Skyrim.
isn't even a Stanley Parable
Persona
anymore.
3.
It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Alter. Boy. Wir setzen aber die Latte ja schon hoch hier. Oh, diese zwei Türen, ich hasse sie. Person of the Year. Person of the Year. Accelerator, dankeschön für den Raid. Vielen, vielen Dank. Ich sehe gerade, Gran Turismo 7 wurde gespielt. Ich hoffe, hat Spaß gemacht. Wir spielen gerade das Stanley Parable, beziehungsweise die Deluxe Edition, der New Content. Ja. Gibt sogar Figuren von uns? Ach du Scheiße. Boah, ist das assi. Es gibt eine Figur von Stanley und von der Frau, die ihn, wo er tot auf dem Boden gelegen hat, ihn nur beobachtet hat und gegangen ist. Es gibt von ihr eine Figur. Boah, ist das assi. Ist das assi. Es gibt von ihr eine Figur. Boah. Das ist gemein. Wunderbare 300 Stunden kriegt man wieder Content. Oh, geil. Das ist geil. Mit Lenkrad oder? Sand ist... play games because of what they can do inside them, and your game is very good to letting them know they can't do anything. Literally anything. Okay.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation. Boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise.
Also mit einer Krawatte und so? Geil. Weiß ich davon nichts. Ich mir geholt. Ist er durch? Series Home. Kann ich springen?
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back.
Aber ein Lenkrad
to
plus
have it
Pedale, gerade
all
aber
over
hauptsächlich mit
again.
Controller. Ah, okay.
Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Weiß ich nicht. Sehen wir gleich.
Oh no, oh God, no,
Oh.
Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas,
Rezension.
the extremely popular online storefront for computer games.
Kommt die
I
böse
haven't looked
Welt.
at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Das sieht gerade nicht sehr sehr einladend hier, ehrlich gesagt. Oh, oh. Oh, okay. Okay. Ja. Oh, oh, jetzt. Negative Rezension.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley
Die nehmen die auf den Korn, wie
The game
gut.
is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Okay, das finde ich jetzt gerade mega gut, dass man so negative Rezensionen gerade auf dem Schippe nimmt. Funny. Ich kann das nicht so gut wie er, aber... Ja. Jetzt regnet es auch noch. Sehe ich schon, da ist noch einer. Hier sind ganz viele. Da ist positiv. Da ist negativ.
Okay, let's see what this one says.
Nudelscharf.
Well, the idea for the game is good, and for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Oh, jetzt wird er depressiv. Nein, alles gut. Du bist zwar rechthaberisch, aber das ist so okay. Wir mögen dich ja alle und so. Ah, Gott, ey. Mosi, danke für die 90 Bits. Wie nennt man eine Delle, die Angst hat? Eine Zitadelle. Oh Gott, Mosi. Alles klar, Driver. Da geht's auch runter. Ach so, ist der einzige Weg sogar.
What's this one got to say?
Cookie. Aha.
You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Skip-Button? Ach, kriege ich jetzt... Das ist neuer Content. Ich kann ihn skippen.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertip. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unenjoyable. Stanley! Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer. Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. Oh, hello. It's you.
Hi.
You're here again. Welcome.
Hi.
I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time.
Yeah.
I stopped keeping track after a
Yeah.
year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months.
Diese wunderschöne beste Feature in dem Spiel. Aua.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment.
Stanley. Knopf drücken. Schön die Ruhe. Schon wieder angefangen. Kann's nicht lassen. Einfach nicht lassen. Ich muss diesen Knopf drücken. Geht nicht. Ich muss den drücken.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Ich hab ihn kaputt gemacht.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Hallo Gummi, Entenmann.
End is never
Never the end, never the end. Ach ja. So. Alter, was zur Hölle? Wie lange sind wir hier? Wenn das hier alles schon zusammenbricht. Holy shit. Sonne. Ja? What the hell? Ein paar 1000 Jahre? Hoffentlich kommen gleich Aliens. Alter, die Soundkulisse. The fuck? Jesus. Oh, Unsere Zukunft. Unsere fucking Zukunft, ohne Scheiß. Unsere fucking Zukunft. Ich habe es mir mal vorgestellt. Wunderschön. Alles ausgestorben. Damit ist es ein Endzeit-Survival. Huch. Nein. Gott.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Wo kommt das Schild her?
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Ah, cool. Was denn? Ja, kann ich den Knopf nochmal drücken? Danke. Hallo, Bestial. Okay. 34 mal hüpfen?
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley parable
Kannst mir
and
vorstellen.
about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be.
Ja.
The original Stanley parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever
Deluxe,
the Stanley
Deluxe,
Parable
Deluxe.
2.
Was? 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 Okay.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few
Teil
minor
2?
additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Alter, wenn das jetzt wirklich Teil 2 ist, ne? Das ist ja mega krass dann gemacht.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe.
Ja,
don't you
Ultra
think?
Deluxe ist...
Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Sieht auf jeden Fall schön aus, hier der Flur. Kann man ja sagen, ne? Viel hübscher.